Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. So the most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for the preparation of civil services mains and prelims examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 22nd of December. The first important news, Rajya Sabha passes Maritime Anti-Piracy Bill. This is from the Indian Express. Second amendment to Multi-State Cooperative Society Act. This is again from the explained page of the Indian Express, which is very much relevant for your mains examination. Now, the vacancies that still exist in the IITs and Central University, despite the mission mode, the vacancies are still existing in the IITs and many other central universities. Fourth, INS Mormugao is and its capabilities we'll see from text and context page of the Hindu. And the last is an editorial needs to make cancer drugs affordable. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And before I begin this session, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a like button. Starting the session with the first news, that is Rajya Sabha passes Maritime Anti-Piracy Bill, something relevant for General Studies Paper 2 under the subtopic Government Policies and Intervention for the Development of Various Sectors and Issues Arising from its Design and Implementations. So recently, the Rajya Sabha has passed Anti-Piracy Bill, and this bill provides for the maritime privacy and stringent punishment for those convicted for such crime. Again, this will set a precedent for India at the global level where such rules and regulation were very much important, right? And considering the fact from the mains examination point of view, a direct question can be framed in General Studies Paper 2 as well as in General Studies Paper 3. The bill was initially introduced in Lok Sabha in December 2019 and was referred to the Parliamentary Standing Committee on External Affairs for the examination or scrutiny. Now, India is one of the largest provider of seafarers in the world. This is again a factual important point that you can use in examination. Now, what are the key features of the bill? As an aspirant of civil services examination, you must be aware of the each and important aspects of the key features. So the bill has a provision for the prevention of the maritime privacy and will strengthen India's maritime security and give an effective legal instrument to combat the menace. Because कई बार ऐसी डिबेट हुई है ग्लोबल लेवल पे कि एक ऐसी रूल्स रेगुलेशन की ज़रूरत है. Even specifically talking about India, India definitely requires such regulation where the strengthening of maritime security is there. So the bill will also enable the country fulfill its international obligations and to improve India's standing at the global forum. It will stand our maritime security, including the safety to our maritime trade routes as well as Indian seafarers in the international water as well. Now, what are the provisions that has been included with regards to the death penalty in the bill? The government has added the provisions of death penalty and even the life imprisonment for those who are convicted in maritime piracy. अगर किसी इंडिविजुअल को maritime piracy में पाई जाती है तो उसके लिए provisions रखे गए हैं and extending highest up to the death penalty. The bill addressed the issues of death penalty as an exceptional case. Definitely, death penalty in the rule of law is the highest punishment that is given. And even the quantum of punishment will envisaged in line of the gravity of the offenses. तो जिस तरह की offenses होगी, offenses की जो gravity होगी, उसके accordingly ही punishment दी जाएगी, which varies from life imprisonment till death penalty. The bill provides for stringent punishment those convicted for such crime. The such crime means maritime piracy. In the absence of specific law, the legal provisions in Indian Penal Code and CRPC, अगर बात करें इंडिया में IPC की जहाँ पे rules decide होती है, the court and even the law enforcement agency used CRPC and IPC, right? So they actually find this that मैरीटाइम सिक्योरिटी की अगर बात करें या प्राइवेसी बिल की बात करें तो यहाँ पे लीगल इंस्ट्रूमेंट जरूरी थी जो कि कॉम्बैट कर सके मैरीटाइम प्राइवेसी के जैसे इश्यूज को. It would also enable India to discharge its obligations under the United Nations Convention on the Law of Sea, जिसे UNCLOS भी कहते हैं. उस रूल्स के एडर करने में इंडिया ने अभी जो रेगुलेशंस लाई है, that will be parallel to what the global practices is. So you can expect a direct question in the mains examination from this given topic, very much important. Now, recommendations that was given by the Standing Committee. Out of 18 recommendations on the Standing Committee of External Affairs, 14 has been incorporated with the government, and they will be suitably looking into the part of incorporation. Moving to the other news, that is amendment to Multi-State Cooperative Society Act, something important for General Studies paper 2 under the subtopic Functions and Responsibility of Union and States, Issues and Challenges Pertaining to the Federal Structure. A very important topic which is there in the limelight for past couple of weeks. And these news are something that is important for both prelims as well as mains examination. तो ये आपके दोनों stage of examination में contribute करेंगे. Now, recently, the Lok Sabha has referred the Multi-State Cooperative Society Amendment Bill to the Joint Parliamentary Committee for scrutiny. The introduction has raised concern by the opposition member that is seeks to take away the state government right and demanded that it must be sent to the Standing Committee for scrutiny. What are the loopholes in the bill must be addressed. तो बहुत सारी चीज़ों को हाईलाइट की गई है इस बिल में, स्टेट की ऑटोनॉमी को लेकर के बात की गई है. We'll see the detailed part of the concern that has been raised by the opposition in the later part of this video. Now, background की अगर बात करें, the existing law, that is the Multi-State Cooperative Society Act, was enacted by then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government, and since then many changes has been in place in the field of cooperatives. At the time, the corporations was department under the Ministry of Agriculture. जो corporations की functions होती थी, जिस ambit में वो function करती थी, they are functioning actually under the Ministry of Agriculture. However, in July 2021, the government has carved out and a separate ministry which is known as Ministry of Corporations. तो corporation ministry के साथ cooperatives को भी include की गई and they are part of that. Now, 97th Amendment of the Constitution, very important if you're reading about the part of the cooperative society, the multi-cooperative society amendment, तो आपको 97th Amendment के बारे में पता होना चाहिए. The 97th Constitutional Amendment, which inserted the part 9B, that is the cooperative society, was inserted in the Constitution. The right from the cooperative society was included as a right to freedom under Article 19(1) Part 3 of the Indian Constitution, right? कि पॉलिटी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से जो फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन पूछे जाते हैं वहां पे भी काफी ज्यादा रेलेवेंट होंगी. नाउ इन एडिशन टू दैट, आर्टिकल 43B, द प्रमोशंस ऑफ द कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी वाज इंसर्टेड एज वन ऑफ द DPSP, राइट, एज अ डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी ऑन द पार्ट 4 ऑफ द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. तो ये स्टेट पे ऑब्लिगेशंस दी गई कि वो प्रमोट करे कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज को भी. सो दीज आर द लीगल बैकिंग इन टर्म्स ऑफ द फॉर्मुलेशंस ऑफ द कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी इन इंडिया. Now, Supreme Court की अगर बात करें इस कंटेक्स्ट में, Supreme Court in 2021 in the case of Union of India versus the Rajendra Sahai and other, has upheld the judgment of Gujarat High Court, which has struck down the part 9B of the Constitution on the ground that the amendment passed without the requisite ratification from the states. However, majority of the bench in the 9B has extended is applicable to the multi-state cooperative society. So that is still functioning. That's again debatable issue that Supreme Court has to look into the other aspect. I'm not getting deep down into the detail and the controversy of that. But for you as an aspirant, you have to know 97th Amendment and how the legal backing, how the constitutional backing is helping for the cooperative societies. Now, some salient feature from here, you can get a direct question in the prelims examination. Right? There are multiple salient features. We'll look into that one by one. So first is the rule for merger. The bill provides for merger of any cooperative society into an existing multi-state cooperative society. At present, only multi-state cooperative society can amalgamate themselves to form a multi-state cooperative society. Right? तो ये चीजों को हटाई गई है और किसी भी दो states के लोग बना सकते हैं cooperative को and they can expand it. Now, the Cooperative Elections Authority की बात की गई है. The bill seeks to establish the Cooperative Elections Authority with a view to bring electoral reform in the cooperative sectors. And as per the proposed amendment, the authority shall consist of chairperson, vice chairperson, member not exceeding 3 to be appointed by the center. So this is the prerogative of the central government and not any other institutions. तो अलग अलग जो पोस्ट हैं जैसे चेयरपर्सन, वाइस चेयरपर्सन और मेंबर्स की एलिजिबिलिटी बताई गई है. You don't need to get into that such details, not necessarily for examination purpose. Now, stricter punishment, clause 37 of the bill seeks to amend 104 section of the act that increase the amount of penalty for certain offences. Now, ombudsman, a very important point that has been incorporated. The government has proposed the insertion of a chapter 9A relating to the redressal of the complaint. Under the new chapter, the government has proposed to appoint one or more cooperative ombudsmen with the territorial jurisdiction for inquiring into the complaints by the members of the society. Now, they will also add section 85 into this. According to the proposed amendment, the cooperative ombudsman shall, on the receipt of the complaint, should process the inquiry and adjudicate the matter within 3 months. तो यहाँ पे टाइमलाइन दी गई है ताकि 3 months में उनकी जो प्रॉब्लम्स है किसी एक मेंबर्स की कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी की वो ओम्बड्समैन के थ्रू पूरी तरह से बेसिकली डिस्पोज ऑफ की जा सके, सॉल्यूशंस की तरफ बढ़ा जा सके. The cooperative ombudsman will have in power with the civil court in summoning the examination. So this is again a very important point for the prelims examination, with which capacity this will function. So it will function as a capacity of civil court as well. Now, fund for the revival of Sikh cooperative societies, the bill seeks to insert a new section, that is section 63A in the Principal Act, related to the establishment of cooperative rehabilitations, reconstruction and development fund for the revival of Sikh multi-state and cooperative society. It also proposes to insert new section 78 related to concurrent audit for the multi-state cooperative societies having an annual turnover or deposit of more than the amount determined by the central government. Now, cooperative information officers, the center has also proposed to make provisions for the appointment of cooperative information officers to provide information related to affairs and manage for the multi-state cooperative society to the members of such society. Now, cooperative society as a state subject, this is the point of debate that the opposition has raised, and it's a genuine basically concern that has emerged from the opposition party. Some of the opposition parties have objected that the bill the center has created and as a part of the cooperative is under the state subject. तो oppositions का कहना है कि ये जो subject है that is listed under the state subject. There are 3 lists. First is the union list. Again, there's a concurrent list and there's a state list. तो ये जो चीजें हैं वो state list के अंदर आती है. The subject cooperative society is mentioned under the entry 32 of the state list in the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution, जहाँ पे bifurcations की गई है. Beside entry 43, the central list under the 7th schedule of the Constitution make it clear that cooperative society do not come under the central domains. Now, कितने तरह के cooperative societies हैं जो function करती हैं इंडिया में? The first is the producer cooperative society, second is a consumer cooperative society, third cooperative marketing society, उसके अलावा cooperative housing society and cooperative farming society. तो ये अलग अलग तरह के सोसाइटी है जो अपनी कैपेसिटी से फंक्शंस करें. Now, other news, that is vacancies still exist at IIT and the Central University, something important for General Studies paper 2 under the subtopic issues related to development and management of education and human resources. So the Education Ministry has informed the Parliament recently that despite the long mission mode recruitment जो कि गवर्नमेंट ने प्रॉमिस की है इसके लिए, तो फैकल्टीज की जो रिक्रूटमेंट है, जो हायरिंग प्रोसेस है फॉर द रिजर्व पोस्ट इन द एलीट इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, जिसे IITs भी कहते हैं, सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटीज में, इट्स ओनली जस्ट 30% दैट हैज बीन फिल्ड, राइट. एंड इन द ईयर September 2020-23, IITs and 45 central universities across the country were directed to conduct a drive, basically mission mode drive, that called for the reserve category people belonging to scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and other backward class कि जो इनके positions, teaching positions में खाली हैं, उनको fill किए जा सके as early as possible. But again, the achievements are pathetic and the desired result is not there. Progress so far during this period, the vacancies that was notified was 1,439 against just only 449 recruitment was made, right? So this is close to 30%. and of which 45 Central University, 33 has identified a total of 1097 vacancies of these categories, where just 212 was filled. So you can see the number is pretty low. And among this 33 universities, जो data आई है उसमें 18 of them were recruited and recruited no scheduled caste, scheduled tribe or OBC faculty despite having the identified vacancies that was already notified by the government end. यूनिवर्सिटीज विद वैकेंट पोजीशंस की अगर बात करें, कौन कौन से ऐसे यूनिवर्सिटीज या सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी जहां पे ऑलरेडी वैकेंसीज नोटिफाइड थी और अभी भी वैकेंट रही हैं. जेएनयू की बात करें, जवाहरलाल नेहरू यूनिवर्सिटी, दे आइडेंटिफाइड 75 वैकेंसीज. बीएचयू 114, बाबा साहब भीमराव अंबेडकर यूनिवर्सिटी 0. दिस इज बेस्ड इन लखनऊ. However, none of the vacancies were filled, and 12 of the central universities conducted no recruitment during their drive and has no backlog that would identify vacancies in these categories. Now, as of September, they said the data presented in the parliament shows that the central university has a combined backlog of over 920 positions in ST, SC, and OBC categories for the teaching faculties. Now, if you see this graph, you will easily make out ये picture image that will help you understand the vacancies that still exist. Backlog की अगर बात करें 522, जिसमें सिर्फ 170 फिल की गई है, तो नंबर ऑफ वैकेंसीज जो फिल्ड हुई हैं वो 32% है. एसटीज में 57 लोगों को लिया गया, the allocated 317, only 18%, and for OBC the total vacancies filled was 39.4%. अगर एवरेज निकाले, this is 31.2%. Now, low recruitment is there. Of 23 IITs, only 10 were able to identify 342 vacancies in this category of the position for professor, assistant professors, and associate professors. Of 237 positions in this category were filled, only 19 IITs. The analysis further shows that 358 vacancies remained in 14 IITs. And it found that the most IITs does not recruit the people belonging to scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and OBC categories, and even this were there at the level of professor and associate professors. Moving to the other news, INS Mormugao and its capabilities. This is important for General Studies Paper 3, various security forces, agencies, and their mandate. Recently, INS Mormugao has officially joined the Indian Navy fleet, making significant milestone for indigenous military expeditions. और बात करें इस INS की, it's a second of the 4 Visakhapatnam class destroyer that is built under the Indian Navy Project 15B और P15B भी जिसे कहते हैं. The destroyer has a multi-dimensional compact capabilities which include surface-to-surface missile, surface-to-air missile. So it has both surface-to-surface missile, apart from that surface-to-air missile, and modern surveillance radar system. It is built over 75% of Indianization content, commercializing INS Mormugao the suit of the arm with India's self-reliance efforts. Now, if you look into the specific features of this, it's a weight of 7,300 tons, span for 163 meters, and length and breadth up to 17.4 meters of beam, and has a Barak 8 as a long-range missile system. It's a guided missile destroyer, advanced sealed features, high degree of automations, jointly developed by India and Israel for destroyer construction. Estimated cost of 4 ship is 29,000 crore rupees and named after Goan port Mormugao. Now, Project 15B की अगर बात करें, I've already made a discussion in this regard, but just to give you a briefing about this, it was launched way back in 1990 and added with the guided missile destroyer for the Indian Navy. This was named as a Delhi class. It was followed by 15A, जिसे 15A Calcutta class भी कहते हैं. Kolkata class is primarily focusing on the advanced technology equipped with the surface ship. उसके बाद आई 15B, जिसे विशाखापट्टनम क्लास के नाम से जाना जाता है. It's a weapon intensive destroyer. And the project was launched in January 2011 that incorporated the advanced concept of state-of-art weapons, sensory and advanced stealth features, high degree of automations, improved survivability, sea keeping, safe and maneuverability. So these are some of the significant features of the Project 15B. Capabilities of INS Mormugao की बात करें, I have given you a briefing मैंने आपको बताया क्या क्या features है, but just to get an idea, one of the most potent warship that India has constructed. The ship is propelled with the 4 gas turbine, right? The propulsion system also ship to achieve more than 30 knots and a maximum of 4,000 nautical miles. INS Mormugao 5 power has comprised BrahMos surface to air missiles, Barak 8 that is surface to air missile, और इस तरह की और टारगेट्स बनाई गई है 76 mm सुपर रैपिड गन माउंट्स के लिए, साथ ही कैपेबल है। इट कैन एकोमोडेट अ क्रू ऑफ 300 पर्सनल्स। फीचर्स की अगर बात करें, इट हैज इक्विप्ड विद कैरी एंड ऑपरेट मल्टी रोल हेलीकॉप्टर्स। इट enhance the siege features that reduce the radar across the sectors and even for the radar signature. It has automation, sophisticated digital network. तो कुछ digital networks की अगर बात करें, from this particular topic a direct question in the prelims examination can be framed. So rest assured आपको ये सारी चीजें important है and you can be revising all these concepts. गीगाबाइट इथरनेट बेस्ड सिस्टम नेटवर्क की अगर बात करें, इट कंट्रोल पावर मैनेजमेंट, कॉम्पैक्ट मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम की अगर बात करें, इट परफॉर्म द थ्रेट इवैल्यूएशंस एंड रिसोर्स एलोकेशंस बेस्ड ऑन द टैक्टिकल पिक्चर्स कंपाइल्ड एंड द एम्यूनिशंस अवेलेबल ऑन बोर्ड। ऑटोमेशंस और ऑटोमेटिक पावर मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम, जिसे AMPS भी कहते हैं, ये पावर कंट्रोल की रखी गई है। उसके बाद IPMS दैट इज इंटीग्रेटेड प्लेटफॉर्म मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम, इट यूज्ड टू कंट्रोल एंड मॉनिटर द मशीनरी एंड ऑसिलरीज। And last is the SIP data network. It is like informed highway and the data from sensors and the weapons. Strategic importance क्या है इस तरह की INS की? Definitely जिस तरह से चाइनीज की इंटरेस्ट पैसिफिक में देखिए, इंडो पैसिफिक में देखिए, इंडिया हैज अ renewed focus on bolstering the maritime capabilities and it's a region to counter the threat. The government aims to prepare with the deal with any situation that is emerging at the global scenario. And addition of technological advancement, seat warship to the Navy inventory provides strategic advance to India and even add the combat capabilities to the armed forces. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, need to make cancer drugs more affordable, something important for General Studies paper 2 under the subtopic. That is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from its design and implementations. So what are the issues under the editorial? First, looking into the theme of this article, it talks about the cancer medicines and its implications. So impact on the survival rate, justifications by the pharma's companies, some challenges, compromise in the right of life, guaranteeing compulsory license and the way forward. Rajya की जो स्टैंडिंग कमिटी है ऑन हेल्थ, दे हैव हाइलाइटेड द इशू विद रिगार्ड्स टू द स्प्रिंगलिंग कॉस्ट ऑफ कैंसर मेडिसिन एंड इट्स इम्प्लीकेशंस टू द मिडिल क्लास ऑफ द सोसाइटी, और जिस तरह से आउट ऑफ पॉकेट एक्सपेंसेस हुई है, आउट ऑफ पॉकेट एक्सपेंसेस इज अ कंसर्न इन इंडिया. द कमिटी हैज नोटेड दैट अबाउट 40% of the cancer hospitalization cases mainly financed through borrowing या फिर किसी तरह के एसेट को सेल करना पड़ता है, या जो कंट्रीब्यूटर हैं वो उनके फ्रेंड्स होते हैं, बिकॉज द कैंसर ट्रीटमेंट इज अगेन वेरी कॉस्टली इन इंडिया. अकॉर्डिंग टू द कमिटी, the situations for the average out-of-pocket spending is high and spending for cancer in a private hospital is 3 times higher than that of the public facilities. The committee suggested that highlighted the seriousness of the problem and even said that the concerning treatment of cancer is estimated to indicate in which India will was nearly 1.4 billion in 2020. Now, impact on survival rate की अगर बात करें, the catastrophic treatment caused a serious impact on the survival rates of the developing countries. World Health Organization की अगर बात करें, उनके अपने रिपोर्ट में पाया that cancer medicine has its impact and stated that the cost of the course and its the standard treatment, that is the early stage of HER, जैसे human epidermal growth factor receptors भी कहते हैं, like अगर आप ब्रेस्ट कैंसर की बात करें, it's equivalent to about 10 years of average annual maintenance in India and South Africa में 1.7 year and in United States, right? तो इंडिया और साउथ अफ्रीकन कंट्रीज में 10 ईयर की जो एवरेज एक्सपेंसेस आती है किसी मेडिकल में नॉर्मली, वो एक्सपेंसेस एक सिर्फ आप कैंसर के ट्रीटमेंट में कर सकते हो. यूएस में 1.7 ईयर्स में जो एक्सपेंसेस है, ऑल्दो मेडिकल एक्सपेंसेस इन द वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज आर ऑन द हायर साइड. According to WHO, the cost associated with the other medicine care and inventory such as surgical intervention and radiotherapy and supportive care would have overall even more unaffordable. If you look into the data of India's cancer statistics, around 2.25 million estimated numbers of the people are living with the diseases, and every year new cancer patients registered is 11,57,294, and the death rate as per 2018 7,84,821. And among men and women, the distribution is higher on the men's side. जस्टिफिकेशंस बाय फार्मास कंपनी. अब जो फार्मास कंपनी मेडिसिन बना रही है उनकी क्या आर्ग्यूमेंट है इतने हायर कॉस्ट को लेकर के? एक्सेसिव कॉस्ट ऑफ द ब्रेस्ट कैंसर मेडिसिन कैन बी एक्सप्लेन बाय two related factors. The first is the argument that the large pharmaceutical companies, they spend over 3 billion in bringing the new molecule to the market. तो जो नई pharmaceutical ingredients हैं वो उनको काफ़ी ज़्यादा महंगी पड़ती है, which cost the entire market for innovations. The second factor is the companies to sustain their high profit margins in the intellectual property rights. तो IPR के भी issues कई बार pricing high के पीछे एक कारण. Challenges, like some important cancer medicines like breast cancer is currently under the patent regulations and implying Indian companies that cannot manufacture this medicine without the consent of the right holder. तो जिस कंपनी, सपोज हाइपोथेटिकली अगर बात करें फाइजर की, तो फाइजर के पास अगर एक किसी मेडिसिन की कंपल्सरी उसकी अगर पेटेंट राइट है तो दूसरी कंपनी को वो देने में उनमें काफ़ी ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम्स होती है. कंपल्सरी लाइसेंसिंग की बात की गई, विल सी व्हाट इज कंपल्सरी लाइसेंसिंग. तो ये एक ऐसी प्रॉब्लम है जो मेडिकल फेटर्निटी के साथ अभी भी एग्जिस्ट करती है. नाउ फाइजर पेटेंट राइट्स ऑन Palbociclib as will expire in 2023. Novartis की अगर बात करें Ribociclib and Lilly rights on the Abimaciclib would expire on 2017 and 29 respectively. तो ये एक्सपायर होने के बाद ही दूसरी कंपनीज इस तरह के ड्रग्स के साथ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर पाएंगी, और जब तक ये कंपनीज के पास ये राइट होंगे, इट्स देयर प्रेरोगेटिव टू डिसाइड द प्राइसेस. Therefore, the higher prices on this medicine will continue till 2029. जब तक इनकी राइट्स वहाँ पे एक्सपायर नहीं होती है. जो राइट होल्डर्स हैं, जो कंसेंट है, वो मैंडेटरी होती है किसी भी दूसरे मैन्युफैक्चरर्स के लिए. Now even the drug are subjected to evergreening. Evergreening एक ऐसी कॉन्सेप्ट है जहाँ पे माइन्यूट ट्विक्स करके उस ड्रग्स की जो राइट्स है वो कंपनीज अपने पास रिजर्व्ड रखती है. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज एवरग्रीनिंग पेटेंट्स. This is again a topic very important and a direct question in the mains examination can also be framed. Compromised in the right to life, this is what has been also witnessed. The lack of access and the critical medicine has not published the life of the patient and their families into deep financial stress, but also jeopardize the life to dignity fundamental rights, which is there under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. The Supreme Court of India has interpreted that right to life is the most precious human right and even forms the arc, and the right must there be interpreted in both. Now, granting compulsory licenses की अगर बात करें, most obvious option is to authorize Indian companies to domestically produce the high-priced cancer medicine by granting compulsory license. तो compulsory license अगर दी जाए तो एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रिफॉर्म लाई जा सकती है. उसके कुछ सेक्शंस हैं, सेक्शंस 84 और 92 पेटेंट एक्ट्स के थ्रू कंपल्सरी लाइसेंस इनकॉर्पोरेट की गई. Now, for you, it is important to understand what is compulsory license. Direct question UPSC ने prelims में इसमें already पूछे हुए हैं. राइट. सो कंपल्सरी लाइसेंस की बात करें, ये ऑथोराइज करती है थर्ड पार्टी कंपनीज को, ताकि वहाँ के जो कंट्रोलर्स जनरल्स हैं, वहाँ की जो गवर्नमेंट है, वो दूसरी कंपनीज को परमिशन देती है कि आप उस मेडिसिन को बना सकते हैं, मैन्युफैक्चर कर सकते हैं विदाउट द कंसेंट फ्रॉम द पेटेंट ओनर. जिस तरह से फाइजर और नोवार्टिस की अभी परमिशन की जरूरत है 2029 तक, उसके लिए कंपल्सरी लाइसेंस अगर अलाउ की जाए तो वहाँ की गवर्नमेंट के पास अथॉरिटी होगी कि वो परमिट करे थर्ड पार्टी मैन्युफैक्चरर्स के लिए. The concept is recognized both nationally as well as international level with the expression main, which is there in the Indian patent even for the 1970 और TRIPS के agreement के adherence के साथ इसे बनाई गई है. Now, looking into the way forward, क्या solutions है इस तरह से high price of drugs को control करने के लिए? So compulsory licensing, as I've told you, is the one option. CL is the one option to override the patent rights, enabling the domestic companies to manufacturing the generic alternatives when price patent medicines are high. Alternatively, the government can evoke the provisions of Section 100, जहाँ पे empower की जाती है to authorize an entity to use the patented invention without the authorization from patent holders. तो ये कुछ रिफॉर्म्स हैं जो कि बहुत ही लैंडमार्क हो सकते हैं मेडिसिन सेक्टर्स में, स्पेसिफिकली कैंसर्स में, ब्रेस्ट कैंसर या और भी जितने वॉल्यूम्स ऑफ कैंसर है उनके ड्रग्स बनाने में. सो दिस इज हाउ यू कैन इनकॉर्पोरेट. और जितने भी सेक्शंस मैंने आपको बताए ये सारे इंपॉर्टेंट. यू हैव टू राइट दिस इन द मेंस एग्जामिनेशन टू गेट एन एडिशनल मार्क्स इन योर पेपर. Now, moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option is B. For second question, the correct option is C. Today's MCQ for practice. Making Peace with Nature has been recently published by United Nations Environment Programme, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, Food and Agriculture Organization, World Wildlife Fund for Nature. Now the second is vertical launch short range surface to air missile. It is industry designed and developed by DRDO. It is capable of neutralizing aerial threat at close range, including the sea skimming target. So do check it out for the correct option. These questions are really important for the prelims examination, and practicing a lot more questions will make you perfect. So do practice a lot more questions to get an extra edge in the examination. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.